independent reading this semester, I have learned a lot. The most important lesson I could say I've learned is that appreciate my life and don't take things for granted because life can change in a second. My classical book, which was Diary of Anne Frank, written by Anne Frank, talked about how Anne had to go into hiding suddenly because of the war and what the Jews were not able to do. And if the Jews were caught, they were put into a concentration camp. Anne states how she had never really thought of the world this way. She was scared and frightened. In her book on page 284, she quotes, "This is a crazy and disgusting world that I live in." My nonfiction book, I'm Malala, also talks about how her life got changed from her ordinary world to her non-ordinary world. She talks about how at first she was living in Pakistan. She still did before she got shot. She got shot for standing up for the rights of education for girls. Before that, though, she was in a family of 5, a loving and caring family. She was getting good grades and probably the perfect daughter that you were looking for. And as soon as she got shot, she was moved to England, where she had so many accessibilities that Pakistan did not have, that she thought she was living a dream. My White Pine novel, Dark Inside by Jane Roberts, talks about how an earthquake occurs and some kids that stay alive are the only kids in the world, basically, that are smart. The other people are either beggars or dead. Beggars are people who kill each other because they're not beggars. I think when I go into grade 10, I'll probably take with me to learn and try different things or read different books, considering that, before, I hadn't really read any of a White Pine, a classic, or a nonfiction book. I was mostly into, fiction and, adventure and, murder mystery kinds of books. But I find that it was nice for a change, and I actually liked the White Pine novels. I thought that they were very interesting. I came to learn about these lessons when I realized that these books somehow, in a way, differently, but relate to me. I also live in a family of 4. I have a loving and caring family. I realized that when she talks about England, Malala, we have almost as much as facilities as England does. And realizing she talks about back home Pakistan, I could relate to that when I think about back home in India and how it was all very different. And how it was just helps us to be, you have to be more grateful, considering that not everybody in the world has what we over here do. A quote that I would like to reflect on would be Martin Luther King Jr.'s quote, which is, "The true measure of a person is not how they behave in a moment of comfort and convenience, but how they stand at times of controversy and challenges." This quote just helps me try to become a better person and realize that I have to stand up when there's challenges and act at the right time. I hope to take a lot more in the next few years of my learning.